Salibonani sesibuyele njalo podcast yabantu i-podcast yomhlaba ebukelwa nge-Starlink. Sesifikile silapha sihamba le-Iqembu Studios. Namhlanje siliphathele ngathi nguNcube umfowethu esimbona kakhulu lapha enkundleni zokuxhumana esebenza, is a broadcaster, is a media personality. I don't know if I can call him a socialite, all these things, but uzosichaza. Welcome. Lamgelekile and siyabonga kakhulu elikwenzayo ngokusubscribe, to comment, to share. Ukhulu kithi lokho. Thank you so much. Zee, welcome.
Thank you.
Unjani?
Ngiyaphila unjani? I'm just tired from yesterday, but ngiyaphila unjani?
Oh, konje yesterday you had a show Endozis.
Man,
how was it?
Speaking the whole day,
Yeah.
And the pressure. It was nice. At the end
Yeah.
of it, I was like, thank you, God, and
Yeah.
just thanking the people that were there. But
Yeah.
ekuqaleni, I was like, should I cry? Should I cancel? Ngoba, when we're preparing for it, bongathi izinto azihambi kahle, but I'm happy.
But you've always been a broadcaster, you've always been behind the mic, either emceeing, organizing, coordinating, or being a radio DJ from long back.
Yeah.
What makes you always, because this is not the first time I hear you
Panicking.
says, maybe it's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
What makes you feel that way?
I think I'm a perfectionist, man.
Okay.
Yonke into engiyenzayo ngifuna ukuthi masiqeda ubone ukuthi the dizziness was part of it.
Yeah,
Yabo. So
yeah.
Because it was the first of us taking the radio out to the people there, and when I first pitched it to my bosses, they didn't really think it was going to work, and
Yeah.
also umalume lapha Endozis, when I say it becabanga ukuthi maybe umfana nje
Yeah.
wasemahila so
Yeah.
borekileyo.
Yeah.
And then when we were done, I went back to them. I was like, now you see.
It worked. I saw.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me also. It was an honor, and I think before we even go ahead, I sent you a message after that. I said, you are a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are your flowers while you're still alive because of your line of questioning. And being a broadcaster myself, there are things that I'll be watching and seeing uzenza, especially behind the scenes.
Okay.
Mausu panika. I'll be watching and seeing,
yeah.
but I'll be understanding me. Ukuthi yini kwenza upanic. It is simple because you want this to be perfect.
Exactly.
So enough about that. Ngubani uZee? Who is Zee? Where are you born? What's your full name? And evelaphi?
So mine is straightforward. Full name Zibusiso, and then isibongo Ncube.
Ncube.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then sometimes siba nguNdlovu, but that's a story for another day.
Sometimes.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes siba. So apparently my father was in Ndlovu, right? But then wanyamalala.
Oh.
2
Okay.
weeks after I was born, what decided ukudla phansi, so ngasala ngisebenzisa sikagogo wami esakoNcube. Yeah.
So wakhuliswa ngugogo kahle kahle.
Wakhuliswa ngugogo.
Ah.
So ngesika mama ukuthi mama naye wayithethe sika mama yakhe. So ngasensiba nguNcube like that. Yabo. So
Doesn't that along the way affect a person? We've heard.
yeah.
Sibongo, inkinga isibongo. Hasn't that maybe along the way, haven't you seen something that, and you end up feeling like maybe inkinga isibongo?
Angazi, man. I'm not a firm believer in
such.
lezo, ne?
Okay, yeah.
But they've said it ukuthi maybe 1 to 3 ayenzeka kahle because abagini and at some point I tried looking for the father and angimtholanga. So I was like, man, I mean 30 years
Yeah.
ngiphila.
Yeah,
So let's keep it moving. Yeah.
Ekhaya ungaphi?
So ekhaya kuseMatopo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Matopo Whitewater along Kezi Road. So it's just 10 kilometers before Kezi.
Okay.
And then I grew up at Phumula North, half of my primary school, and then for some reasons, ngagula, then they took me to Matopo, like Bangsuse Pageant.
Oh, hlala eMatopo.
Yeah, ngayohlala eMatopo for until ngaze ngaba right.
Wow. Ugulani.
So I had Imvukuzane, right? Which
As
I
a
still have.
As a kid.
Yes. Which I still have. So what happened was, I think I was in grade 4, and then ngaleso sikhathi bengihlala no ugogo wami besebenza kitchen, so bengihlala nomamncane wami besingabantwana song two. So after school I came back, and then I need you take off your uniform and stuff. So isok elaku right la yala ukuphuma lalinamathele enyaweni, right? So ngaliyeka, I was like ngoba ngangibusaba ubuhlungu vele, so ngaliyeka. So for about 3 days lahlala mangigeza like ngikhipha unyawo ngaphandle kwe-dish ngaliyeka isok. So I think on the 3rd or 4th day, so I decided to geza ngeshower, and then langenwa ngamanzi laphuma. So malphuma like she had just a small pimple la move. And aside sakuthatha serious because it was just.
Do you tell anyone at the time?
I mean, I was with umamncane wami who was also a child at the time. So I was just like, man, it's just that. And then so kwahlala the Iqembu lakhula ke laba isilonda. Kwaba isilonda, went to the clinic lapha ePhumula, banginikeza imithi nyana kwangasiza. So isilonda sakhula like saqala ukukhula sahlanganisa unyawo lonke. So from there saqala ukukhula sesiya phansi. And then I think kwajumpela na lolo unyawo angisakhumbula kwakunini, but kwajumpela khona. So kwaba into yokuthi manje angisakhona ukuya esikolo, uma ngisiya esikolo ngiyathathwa ngihanjiswe ngiphinde ngibuyiswe futhi back. So that's when ugogo wami wangisusa ke wangise Matopo, because bese yini mangihamba endleleni abantu babebabaza kanti umntwana wabanje. So she was like ithi ngikususe ngikuse at least le lapho okungenabantu khona. So at that time sasiqalile vele ukuzama imizamo apart from isibhedlela.
Did you go like ebantwini?
A lot of people, ngoba at the time ngangifunda eMaswazi ePhumula North. So the school organized for me ukuthi ngihanjiswe empilo ngiyoqunya unyawo. And then I remember them coming to our house bethi bafuna ungihambisa. So my grandmother wacatsha wathi sithi akekho. So then they delayed it like that. So saqhubeka ngento zabantu sintu sonto a lot. Ngingakutshela manje ukuthi ngingathi kwaqedwa ngubani ngaleso sikhathi.
How old were you at that time?
I was doing my grade 4.
So that's like around like 10, 11 years.
And then isilonda saqhubeka until form 2. Look at sikhona non-stop singaphelanga.
No, and the pain, how are you like pain lana uyisuppressa kanjani? Uyistopha ngani? Are you taking painkillers?
I was a child, man. So everything angidependa ebazalini, right? Ama painkillers, it was not our thing. Ngalesa sikhathi. So sasisenza khona ukuthi imithi esabe sinikwa uyiphuze uthini, and then the time sebeng transfer White Water. I remember on my first day ngathi ngifika ngithi yabona eclassini kabe kune like the groups, right?
Yes.
So bafika bangihlalisa egroup abantwana bonke ababeyo group bathatha amabhuku abo basuka bayehlala etafuleni eliyi-1
bese saba
isilonda. And then the teacher wakhona wahamba wayongithengela ama tablets lawa ayirabha wayewavula. So every time mangifika eclassini asigeze yena, and then athatha impuphu la afake phakathi.
Was it helping?
I don't know.
Nxa lihambe ebantwini bathi ivela ngaphi imvukuzane?
Hey,
are you comfortable to talk about that?
I mean, bayasho bona, just that abakhuluma into straight ne, they would just say family or whatever, because ngesikhathi ngikhula, I mean, I was very intelligent esikolo, like all the time makuphela umnyaka I would get all the prizes makusenza ama prize giving days. So then they were like the person owayenzayo wabona ukuthi my mother was going to be a better person through me. So the fight was with my mom.
Family. So say White Water, and how does that make you feel at that age? Abantwana nxa ufika mele uyahlala in that group osuyikhethelwe nxa bekubalekela kuyenzani kukwenza ufile njani lokho?
I mean, it brings you down. It makes you question yourself ukuthi kanti what's wrong with me, even though I knew what was wrong with me at the time, because I think kwangenza ngahlakanipha man at a very young age. Ngavele ngakwazi ukuthi okay, this is my reality, I'm different in 1 2 3. So I accepted it.
Where are we now? are you completely healed? Are you still suffering from it? What's happening?
It's not gone. It's
Yeah.
still there. So what it does is, so ngalesa sikhathi when it started yaphela form 2, I think, and then sasije ukuthi siphelile at around age 18 it came back. Someone wayelapha futhi yaphinde yastopha, and then from last year it's been on. So it's like on and off. 1 month it's on, the other it's off. So it's that, and then manje there's this other guy esonta naye obengisizile, so isilonda sesivalekile but ngaphakathi
You still feel the pain.
kusasho, and then it comes now up to, because apparently it's yabalekela ngase this ngaphansi kwenkaba or something. So manje ipain yakhona isingaphakathi. Yesterday masuka lapha endozis ngiyasho kumother ngithi uyazi ukuthi that thing ingiphelele enzima because I was in so much pain and I've learned to, because there was a time man la engake ngabhala khona on Facebook. I was just tired and
I think I saw that post.
Yes, and then I posted that. So umamncane wami was like, do you know ukuthi lento yenzayo wena ungayithatha kancane? But maybe there is 1 or 2 people that are looking up to you.
Yeah.
So don't write izinto ezisoya. So from then, noma kuthiwa ngisebuhlungwini kanjani, you never see unless I tell you.
Whoa. You are strong.
I try.
No, you are, because if you are still here today, ukwazi ukukhuluma ngayo, and abanye abantu they give up along the way. Thank you for not giving up and being able to even share your story and talk about it. I was still saying, if makukhona umuntu who understands what we're talking about, and maybe you are getting encouraged, or you wanna encourage Uzi or anybody else, I mean, comment section, please come through. But we always hear about, people out there talking about powerful, be it about prophets, zangoma, ini bangaphi nxa kunje, because I think it's something that if a person is real and they're powerful, maybe they can help. But what's the plan going forward? Are you now saying, okay, I'm now used to this, or are you still out there trying to look for help or something that can permanently like heal or remove this?
I think, to be honest, I'm at a point where I'm just like, I'm grateful that I'm still here. So every day when I wake up, I'm like, oh, I made it to the other day.
Yeah.
I'm happy, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Then in terms of looking for help, because most of these people are just out here for money.
Yeah.
Like most
Yeah.
of the amount of money that I've spent on this, and most of the time the solution yakhona iba just temporary, and then it comes back. Even though njengamanje isilonda singekho ne, in my mind I'm like, I know ukuthi sizobuya anyway.
Doesn't that then sometimes become a thing of, because it does happen, and I'm not saying this is the case with you, where sometimes you get healed of something, or you move away from a certain environment, or you detach from a certain condition, and even lanxa isihambile, because your mind and you are so used to that, you end up calling it back by saying, I know izobuya.
But is it really a thing of calling it back? Because right? It's been going and coming. So
Yeah.
I think it's just that, man. It's not really ukuthi ngiyayibiza back.
Yeah.
But it comes anyway.
Yeah, that's for me. I wish there is a solution. I believe there is a solution out there.
Thank you.
Moving right along. Then we now see you as the Z that we see in the media space. You're a media personality, you do radio, you do a lot of work in beauty pageants and all that. Take us through the journey. Where does it begin? When do you find yourself in love with this thing? And where does it start?
So growing up, like I said earlier, it's Kolugangshire, right? So I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And then at I think I was doing my form 3, 4, somewhere there, right? This is another story that I've never said,
Okay.
right?
Exclusively, podcast yabantu.
Yeah, so from grade 1 until form 4, the mid-year, ne?
Yeah.
I bengakaze ngithathe anything above number 3 going up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And nama subjects, because I need to my high school, then so count my subjects that you passed and yeah. So then when I was doing my form 4, sabhala ngo June, I passed. I think I got something like 10 or 9 subjects.
Yeah.
And then ngazivulela my own class sengizifundisa la abanye ngangifunda nawo, right?
Yeah.
On the side.
Yeah.
And then sabhala ke the finals. I failed. Like failed. So then I was like, okay, this is new. I was never expecting it, but it's fine. I'm not going back there again. Right? And you know, abantu abadala being abantu abadala, they were like, no man, you know, maybe there's something or whatever. And I was like,
you'll bounce back.
Yeah. So then I was like, at the time, it was the time Abo Bonang and Abo Mini Dlamini were big on TV. Like they were doing live, I think.
Yeah, live. Okay.
So I used to watch them and I was like, I think I can do that. That looks nice.
You're still at home at the time.
I was still at home.
Yeah.
And then 2013, I came this side. I joined a modeling agency at the time. And then I was with them for like a year as a model. And then after that, my contract expired. I renew. I was like, I think I can do more than just walking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at Ngaleso Skati, I wrote something which was supposed to be a novel. But then I was like, this can be a script for a short drama thingy, right?
Okay.
So I wrote that. Then I went to Monash University, SSA Ramsey.
Yes.
I spoke to the students there to say, this is what I have. I have a script.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to come and act with me? But at the time, I didn't have a budget for it. Ne? So I was like,
it was just a dream.
Yeah. So I was like, what we're going to do is we all contribute money. Sipatele someone also wears a shootela.
Yeah.
And then when it's out, because you know when you are starting, so these things are easy. Which you just shoot and then sasa there's money, right?
Yeah.
So we did that.
Did it work?
No, it didn't. So we shot the first 2 days.
Yeah.
Then Masingmele shoot was 3. Angazi saxasulana njani nama actors bagcina bengasabuyanga. And then the camera guy came one or agcina naye khalala. He was like, for my time ngeke ngikubuyisele back imali yakho. And then yaphela kanjalo.
How much had you raised?
I can't remember, man. But it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I can't remember how much it was exactly. And then leso script after that Masters failed, I took it to this other guy. Wabethike me ngingakuhambisela sona eMzansi something ne. But yes, but you need to give me 10,000 on Thursday. It was Monday.
For uthi leso stories submit you need
to give him 10,000. Yeah.
The struggle is real in this space.
It's very, very bad, man. But, you know, long story short, I didn't because obviously I money. And then we moved on. Because at the time, right?
Yeah.
And then there were auditions for Uzalo. I went there.
Audition for
to audition for Uzalo. But I wasn't too serious because I was laughing throughout the whole thing.
Also, like at that time, do you have any background in acting or you're just doing because you love this
I was just doing because all I wanted was to be in front of a camera, but doing what exactly? I wasn't sure at the time. And then I think around 2017, I went back home. I wanted to launch like a talent search thingy where, you know, all the young ones can come in and compete. And then I booked a whole Emakwekwe. And then invited everyone to come and participate and so at that time abafana bami ngangisebenzana nabo abashuta izinto zama-camera and stuff. So then they were like, okay, it is sikwenzele a DVD, right? Bangenzela the DVD bafaka yonke le nto eyisenzekala lapha ku-DVD. And then savumelana ukuthi yabona this is gold. You must take it to to
Yeah.
ZBC.
And
then
you take it to ZBC.
and I did.
Yeah.
I did take it there. I took time ngaya Harare for the first time.
Is this when you walked?
That's when I
You
I
walked
had
from the
to
CPT
walk.
to Pocket Hill.
Yes. So I went there, because I didn't have family that side. Ne? So ngangifuna ukuthi ngifike ekuseni and then
yeah.
thola isikhathi sokuthi ngiye khona.
But beside family, do you have anyone that you know in Harare? Or this is a leap of faith?
I mean, at that time, there was no one that I knew.
So-
well, now they are there.
Yeah, but
at that,
before that, you are taking a chance.
I was just taking a chance. And because that's for me, this is TV quality.
Yeah.
Even though it was not. Because it's something else.
It's crap.
Right? Yeah. So I took a bus, went there. Where are the studios? So banglaela the ones la ogune radio corner.
Oh, radio
Emare.
studios.
Yeah. So I walked there to Mbare. The ones that you're looking for as a Pocket Hills. You need to get there kune bus ethwala abantu at this time izohamba nawe ukuse khona.
Yeah.
So ngafika, I got the bus ngahamba nabo.
Yeah.
Yes, saya khona ngale and then
Yeah.
mangifika there was umadlela I think naye wayezosubmit something.
Okay.
Right, and then ngafika ngashiya iCD lami the DVD. Bathi uze kusasa.
Yeah.
So kusasa kwakhona ibhasi yangishiya ngeke ngisho ukuthi ngalala ku because ngamanye amahasha
Walala nga. Okay, tell
ngamanye
us.
amahasha but okay, I'll get there.
Yeah.
So kusasa kwakhona ibhasi yangishiya. I was like, I saw the way la ibhasi ehambe ngakhona, right? So ngahamba ngilandela indlela ngicabanga ukuthi izola ibhasi ihambe yajika so mangihamba I passed the State House. I didn't even know ukuthi it's
Yeah.
the State House.
Yeah.
So this soldier guy calls me at, why are you walking there? I'm like, why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Nami ngivuka ngolaga. So athi, no, you are not supposed to be walking there.
Yeah.
Ilanga liyachisa. And then he was like, why are you speaking English? Where are you from?
Yeah.
He wanted to at that time I'm not even supposed to be walking lying in Hambakon. But then he understood and then he was like, oh, okay, hammer this side, but when you're coming back, make sure that you do not use this road
way.
Yeah, so I walked ngayo figure. Then mangifika, that woman was like, I'm sorry, Mtanam. She was very understanding.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sorry, Mtanam. This looks like a high school production. It cannot be on TV. Then
How
I was
did
like,
you feel?
Crushed
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm Pelimoya.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I'm going to do this by myself. So I started, pushing, and there were posters. Then I got people to come and judge. I was like, my own talent show. They gave me a space.
Where are you doing this now?
In Harare.
So now, the time you're taking your DVD to Harare, so this means you don't immediately come back.
No.
Now, but how are you, like, where do you go?
You really want to know.
Yes.
So, on the first day,
Yeah.
ngathi mase ngiqedile everything, I went to a town,
Yeah.
right? So there was like a sport club, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I sat there next to it
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, there's people here. At least
So it's
ngeke
safe.
bang and you never know what time they'll be leaving. So I just sat there. Ngagcina ngibanjwa ebuthongo, all right?
Yeah.
So this drunk guy comes from inside, then so he's like, why are you sleeping here? So I mean, he could see ukuthi lo muntu akusumuntu ohlale emgwaqweni.
Yes, yeah.
So he was like, why are you sleeping here? At first I'm like, I was annoyed. Ngagcina ngimtshela because he was like persistent.
Yes.
Ngagcina ngimtshela. So he was like, oh, okay, I have a stand. La ngihlala khona with my wife and kids.
Yeah.
My wife won't mind. Come with me.
Wow.
Something yet, what if ngizogejengwa? And then something was like, but also I cannot spend the night here.
In the street.
Yeah. So I went with him.
Yeah.
Introduced me to the wife
Yeah.
and the kids. And the wife was cool.
Yeah.
So then sonke lesikhathi ngagcina sengikwakhe. So every day ekuseni, because ngangihambe ngingenamali ngingumuntu othi I'll come back soon like
Who
the
is this
following
person?
day. Angangingamazi at that time.
Ooh.
But now I know him. He's
Yes.
like a brother now. So every day ekuseni uzovuka athi $95, it's for your transport and your lunch.
Yeah.
hambe wenze izinto zakho and come back.
So what do you go to nxa uphuma wena ugada umtshova? You just hustling, you're looking for
I was
this
just
opportunity.
hustling, man, because I remember I went to ZFM.
Yeah.
They have MIT movies.
Yeah.
I think it's under them or they're
Yes.
under it. Angazi. So then I was like, I want to do a talent show thingy, right? But it's an event, and then there will be tickets, and I spoke to people like about Titan.
Yes.
I'm in Boxer on Twitter at the time.
Yeah.
Spoke to different people. Different people. I'm like, let's do this. Bavuma Bantu. And then we put out posters. That man, bless his soul, wanginikeza imali yokwenza ama posters amaningi sagcwalisa the almost the entire Harare. I was just pushing, man.
Ishono yasazini.
I mean, I could understand.
Yeah.
But ngangingakhona ukusikhuluma.
So you were communicating in English most of the time?
Most of the time. And then ngaye theater in the park, they said, okay, sizokunikeza i-venue, and then you give us a certain percentage of what you get.
The door collections.
Yeah. We then did that, and then kwafika iday yokuthi kube talent thingy. The sound was there, everything was set. Then it's just now me and the few friends that I had made at the time.
Because apparently no one pitched out.
And then we waited for the audience to come. No one came through. It was terrible. I remember this other guy saying to me, "Yo, Mina, if it was mine, people were going to come. This would never happen to me." And I was like, okay, it is what it is.
At the time, I'm sure being crushed is an understatement.
I think with me, for me to be where I am now, I've gone through a lot, and it has made me very, very, very stronger. Because another thing is everything that I was doing at the time, I didn't go to school for it, right? And I had no one to come and say, this is how you do it. So it was all coming from me saying, I think if I do it this way, it's going to work. And also at the time, ngangingazazi ukuthi ngifuna uorganize ama events, ngifuna ukuhosta, ngifuna ukwenzani. It was a thing of me wanting to be on stage, but who is going to give me that stage? So I thought, let me provide the stage for myself.
Whoa, I get you. I get you. I understand you. I think if I'm speaking to anyone else in the art or media space, you would understand that you cannot get where you want to be without going through this, what you're saying.
Exactly.
We've seen it here with the podcast. Today, a guest who was supposed to be interviewed before you cancelled.
All right.
A minute to the hour before we even, started setting up, and he sent a message, no, kokwamiyakula. And this is not the only one. We've had a lot of people who we will book and they will cancel at the last minute. Now, Iqembu La Bantu who will be asking ukubuya ku podcast, esabe turn it down because we've already booked someone and they don't pitch up. And it is so frustrating. If you're not careful, you can even go into depression because you love this thing, but the people that you're trying to bring to see what you want to give them or what you love, they don't understand, they don't see the vision. So I understand you, and sorry about that.
No, man. I mean, it's all in the past.
Because being in Harare is, it's too far, and the language and the people and the culture, and when people don't pitch up, I don't know, man. I think for me, I would have been crushed, but I understand where you're coming from. So where to from there? What do you do next? Is there any other event that you try and organize? What's the next step?
A lot, actually. I think... I'm now embarrassed when I'm saying all these things because God does and at home I've always had so much support from my mother, right? Sometimes she would support even though she doesn't understand what I'm trying to do, but it also gets to shout out to her. It also gets to a point where you can see, okay, they are now just supporting because they love you, but they now don't see where this is going.
They're not seeing the bigger picture.
They are no longer seeing the bigger picture, and they're like, why are you keeping, stressing yourself like this.
Yeah.
So from then I went back go Bulawayo, and then I came back again this side, and what did I do next? I can't remember exactly what I did next, because I what I then told myself was I'm now stopping ukwenza ama.
So like you took a break a bit.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm now stopping ukwenza mina ama events. Ne? So I remember around 2018 I then worked at a restaurant in Krugersdorp.
Yeah.
So then I became very good friends with the operator there.
Yeah.
So we would drive around, and then bekhona any orphanage home in Krugersdorp.
Yeah.
I was like, how can we help them?
Yeah.
But also, mangisho kanjalo, it was a thing of, I still have the media thing in me. How can we raise funds for them through what I do?
Yes.
Right? So then I went to Key West Mall in Krugersdorp. I was like, because they have an amphitheater stage outside. I was like, can I use that stage for an event? I didn't know what event it was for.
The stage, bro, the stage.
It was for.
The stage.
And then they were like, write a proposal. So I wrote something, I sent it to them, but approve again. And then, but okay, so what do you want to do? I said, it's a fashion show, and call it charity something, right? So, bavuma. Then basebeti, you need security because apparently you need to involve amaphoyisa and unless if singakufaka ngaphakathi in the food court. So then they gave me the food court inside the mall.
Yeah.
Then I went to Abu Edgar's exec, Mr. Price, to say, this is what I'm doing. I have my own models. Give me the clothes. The other ones turned me down, and then a guy from exec was like, I'm going to give you the clothes. So then he dressed all of the models for the fashion show.
Wow.
And that was my first successful event. After trying for so many times, that was the first one.
Yeah.
And we raised, imagine, it wasn't too much because now I also had to, pay for abantu ababelethi sound and get the models food and but le ncane yakhona ekhona the manager was a panelists added kuyo and then sayihambisa ke to the home.
Yeah.
And then that was my first successful and my last event and I organize mina is mean.
Then after that you start now working on other people's events where you're being called in as a host or
as a judge. So it then turned out that people were noticing. People knew there's a Zee Arentz somewhere.
Yeah.
Or wins a 1, 2, 3. So then 2021, a friend of mine says she was hosting Miss Kahiso in Krugersdorp. Then she was like, can you please come and be a judge? Then I went there and I was a judge. And then the same year, I then joined a 263 chart from... And then what I was doing with them is I was interviewing people, like it was a talk show, but like a remote talk show. So I interviewed them virtually.
So 263 chart is in Zim. It's based in Zim.
It's based in Zim. Yeah. Because they've got like a huge following. So I inboxed the guy, and then I was like, "Do you mind if I do this? I'll bring these names, and then." So he was like, okay, that's a good idea. So then I sent him something that I had shot with the late Kelvin because So I had this pilot episode that I did with Kelvin. It was also for TV purposes, but I never submitted it anyway.
Was it like a show like in like this, like interviewing people?
It was a show like this. So I think at the time it was when we had the real talk with Anele on SABC3. So I was like, this is what I want to do. So it was the same setup. I shot that with Kelvin. So then I sent the guy just a piece of that clip. And he was like, okay, you can interview. Let's do it. And then he gave me the access to his page, one of the admins. So then I would do my things each and every Wednesday. And I had very big names.
I think that's when I first started seeing you. So now, but before you go ahead, sorry for
not a problem.
You there. where you getting all this drive? Because you fail, you keep going, you fail, you keep going. And what is inspiring you, especially at that time?
I don't know, yes. Namangas.
Yeah.
Namangas, but there was a thing, man, Eti, do it.
Yeah.
No mungawa namhlanje vuka kusasa
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
And at the time, ngase ngiqala ukubona ukuthi okay, it now works. And at the time I was also at a place where I had identified myself as a presenter, broadcaster in that space. So it was working. So I did that with E263. And then in the same year, there were the South African Upcoming Musicians Awards.
Yeah.
And my friend at the time, we are no longer friends,
Yeah.
at the time was working for the Salma HD thingy, the radio.
In Braamfontein.
Yes. So then she was like, Mngane, let me, try and get you a slot there as the red carpet host. So that was my first red carpet thingy, which also turned out very, very well. Yeah. So I did that.
You've done quite a few of those.
Yeah, I've done quite a few of those. So I did that, and I was like, okay, I'm actually good at this, right? So from then, a lot then happened, man. Then I've hosted the Miss Western exclusive, the one that I invited you to.
I remember you invited me, Nolindo Mampala.
Yes.
That was beautiful. It looked so well organized. And we were given backstage passes. I remember we went to the back there. That world.
Yeah.
Take us through models, and it looks so beautiful when seeing them on stage. But when I was given the backstage pass and I saw the pressure
there is a lot
those
of pressure
girls had, what can you tell us from what happens there?
A lot happens, man. I think it's the same pressure that I was saying I had yesterday. Ne? I mean, it's one thing me being behind the mic and talking. That's not a problem. But now having to make sure that that event is a success is where the problem is. So with the beauty pageants, there's a lot, man, that goes on, because behind the stage you have to get your makeup done, get your outfits done. An outfit doesn't work, you have to get another one. There's shoes. There's a lot.
The girls were screaming at each other. I saw they were like changing in front of us, and they didn't care if there were men there because of the pressure. Now she's probably being the next one in stage, and they don't see. And I feel like, don't you feel like some then get taken advantage of in that space?
They do, but then I think we are then very specific when it comes to who do we let into that space. I get you. Yeah, well, we don't just allow anyone to then come inside there. But then the guys that we work with usually are the people that understand. And they see, because usually those pageants, ziba journey thingy, right? So it's not just a one-day thing. So from the auditions to the boot camps to the and you build a familyhood, if there is such a word. So when it gets to that finale, already you are now brothers and sisters.
So there's no one who looks at the other one in a different way. That space is highly contested. We see quite a lot of pageants all around. How do you choose who to work with? Because we've seen you a lot that side in the West Rand. And I think also the people that do these events, they have seen your work and they trust you. How do you choose who to work with and who to not work with?
For me, I think the one and only rule that I have when it comes to working with people, as long as, because I hate people who think they are celebrities. That's just what I hate the most. So if you are humble enough and you are professional and willing to go an extra mile, because there is a lot, man, that goes into that. So I think umuntu ozobele ethi izinga lami lingivumela ukuthi ngiye ezindaweni eziso. So if you are like that, then we can work anytime.
Demag Radio, we now see you on radio, and you're doing shows there, but also you're working quite a lot behind the scenes and you're planning things. How does Demag Radio come about?
So with Demag Radio, okay.
Interesting.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
there's no juicy stuff there.
Oh, okay.
So Michael, right? A good friend of mine, a good brother, who is a station manager there, he has been my hairstylist for like a very long time.
Oh,
Ne?
okay.
Yeah, so at some point he invited me for an interview on Demag. Then I went there, and then they stopped. Angazi, what had happened? They stopped. Then Masabe Vuselela Futi, he was like, "Zee, I think you can do radio." Then I was like, "No, I do not want to do radio. I cannot do radio. It's not in me." So he was like, I've seen you do your things. You know, if you can do it in front of like a camera, how can you not do it? It's a studio you want. So then I was like, okay, Mike, because it's you, and because he was like, I'm not going to stop until you agree. So then I said, okay, but where do I even start? Because I saw, you know, in China and the equipment, I was like, this is too much, man, for me.
Yeah.
And also speaking to people that are not there, it didn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, come to my show when you get time, and then be on the passenger seat and see
like
how I
shadow.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he used to host the 10 to 12 midnight show. So then I would go there and co-host with him. And he was like, you are good at this, right?
Yeah.
You need to consider having your own show.
Yeah.
So as time went, because radio ngikale, I think less than 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So then he was like, okay, you can now have your own show.
Yeah.
When are you free? You can maybe just do once a week. So I was like, okay, let me do Sundays, just an hour.
Yeah.
So then I started doing Sundays there. It was called Catching Up with the Ziziness. So it was all about the vibes and just the good times. And, you know, every time I did it, I would go live on Facebook. And then people started seeing what I was doing with it. So
following.
they started following, yeah. So at first I used to send invitations to people to say, come through for interviews. And then gwaya imagine them people coming through.
Yes.
Because baby wanna the way we have
Yeah. I think it's also that hard work.
Yeah.
You know, putting in the hard work. People then see and they're easily attracted to that.
So then saqhubeka nge-Demag, and I think I'll always be very grateful, man, to Mike no Chris for the platform and them making me realize what I can
You have
do
what
that.
it takes, yeah. You had an event at some point where, was it an anniversary at Demag? I was invited there.
The one where you found me angry.
You were so angry. And for people that are watching, I got there, and then he has put together the event, and then the MCs are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, man.
I ended up being the MC on the day.
That was
MCing to people that I don't even know, and most of these people are like in Krugerstop, they're speaking Setswana, and you know, I think for me the advantage was being able to read the room. I can tell you this, that was one of the most challenging things that I had to do. I never told you this.
okay.
Yes.
But you did it with ease.
That's the thing, because for me, I saw how angry you were. I'm like, this one, Mkayalo. Let me save the day. Because you were so angry, then you were stepping out of the event. And these people are so relaxed. Bruh. And you're like, now we can't find the MC. And I took the mic and I went on stage. I'm like, okay, you show isiqala manje.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for that, but I felt like it also helped me realize that I can speak to any audience.
And thank you for
Because
stepping in.
people were really like having a jolt. And,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, okay. And the musicians that were there, bruh, like for me,
The best.
that's what stood out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the band was amazing. What was Bambata?
Bambata.
It's Bambata, right?
And Tlapo, yeah.
And the colored lady?
She's actually not colored.
Oh, yeah.
She's just
She's
light.
Tswana, right?
Yeah. Her name is Kosi.
Kosi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the young kids also that were singing, and it was really amazing. And it was after that day that I was like, I actually think this guy is going far.
Oh, really?
Yes. With the event, And with what you had invited me, Lindo, to the beauty pageant, and then when I saw that, I'm like, I think you just lack having a team around you that helps you plan these events. And I then started also following Kakulu, your show. And later on, we see you, Hillbrow Radio. That transition, how does it come about?
So me going there was something that was not in the plan, right?
Yeah.
So the event that I invited you to, it was, we were launching the Demag radio. We were like officially launching it because it had been there, but it wasn't like launched
to the public.
So then I was like, okay, now we are here. We have a new team. We have, the dream, the vision. Let's put it out to the people. So then I, worked tirelessly to make sure that that event was a success. And with me, I always want glamour. Like I don't want to do this into you just get there and you're like, can you feel it? And then no. So I had a lot of plans, man, about that event. And then they disappointed me. I was very angry at them. They know I was very angry at them. But now we are fine. We are cool again. So I did that. And that happened, right? And then we did another event not so long ago, I think in September. It was like a Woza summer thing, if you maybe saw the posters.
I saw it on Facebook.
So we did that. And also, it's so annoying, man, when you are putting yourself, like the whole of you. And then abantu sebenza nawo wena bazifaka just isandla kuphela. Right? And then izinto zingasahambi kahle bese kusolwa wena. Also,
it got to that point.
It got to that point. Because I remember, mina no Mike sagcina siphuma ku-event. This is the last one. Saphuma ku-event, sabuyela back e-studio. Sithi siyofixa something. Masifika laphaya, wafika umfana wathi, nina aniwazi umsebenzi wenu because bekumele nenze 1 2 3. So kwaba into yokuthi if wena ubunayo information yokuthi kumele senze 1 2 3, why ungayenzanga or usitshele. So then kwaba into yokuthi any wrong waniyazi into eniyenzayo and wagcine okay mas lahleni phansi indaba umcimbi already that is going on.
People are there.
So I'm like usho zonke lezi zinto ngoba you're not the one okhulume nabanikazi bendawo. You're not the one olapha phambi kwabantu abakwazi. So even if singawukhansela wena uzosala umsulwa, right? So then I was like Mike, masibuyele sihambe siyoqhubeka nge-event. Saqhubeka and then I think 2 days after that avele ngathi hey man akusiyo indlela engifuna ukusebenza ngayo le. So then ngakhuluma nabantu be-Hillbrow Radio ke I inboxed them ku Facebook ngachaza story sami ke and then la muntu wanginika inumber ye-station manager ngasendela i-station manager my proposal, a very good one actually. And then she was like okay, I'll connect you, programs manager wami, and then you take it from there. And then the rest is history.
I see the show, the drive time show there, it's doing well. We are seeing for the first time Hillbrow Radio being taken to the people. It's all over. It's very loud on Facebook. There's a lot of posters and guests. I saw an American guest the other day and all that. We see the work. And what is the formula? What's happening there? And what are the plans for the future within Hillbrow Radio and beyond?
So I think I can speak for my show, because I cannot speak for the others, entire station. So for my show, I think with what I did yesterday, because angifuni mina ukwenza senze nje for the fact of
and there must be something
just
you need
doing. And also things like radio, you need people to listen, right? Excuse me. And for people to listen, they must know ukuthi you are there. So then I was like, okay, masenzeni lento sithathe siyisebenzise, because we've been like sihambe nje ebantwini ukukhulume nabo babuza ukuthi do you know indawo so ukuthi abantu abayazi and there phakathi kwabo, because I think with the online radios they will tell you ukuthi and okay, maybe not that they will tell you. There's gonna my listeners well, amaning, but it's people who told me because it's accessible anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, it's pointless ukuthi siyenze labantu maybe abase America. Ngoba lawo bantu ngeke babuye bazo-advertise with us.
So you need the people around you.
Yeah, because it's business after all, right? So we need the people around us to know what we are there. This is what we are doing. We want them to listen to us and buzz, because that's a community radio station. Buzz, we are there for them, right? And then it's easier when you then going out and say, come put your business with us, because manje was with bag trust. So that's the plan with me and that show. I want it to be like a go-to every day.
That engages also with the public. I think we saw you guys at Gandhi Square at the Metro bus station. How did you strike that one?
With that one, the one that you saw, because I think I was only a day into the station.
Yes.
And then Besebenayo, it was organized.
The idea was already there.
Yeah, it was already there. So then, but your show, my show, kuzomeli your broadcaster lapha. So ngafika it was nice.
Who are you working with on the show?
Manjingi one. When we started Besingu 3.
What happened to the others?
And then the other lady, Wayega, and then the other guy. The other guy. No, no man. Ukona, but akasekho nami.
Was Ugwenyi
show. I think it was just a thing of energies. Because from 3 to 6, abantu bakhathele, they are coming from work.
You need to be hyper.
And also the content. I think we say he's good in a traditional shows where you play your maskandis and. Yeah. So you one.
You are the drive time guy.
I am the drive time guy.
All right, Zee, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. This is a story of resilience, and I think anyone who has been watching from the beginning would understand that this is not just a talk, this is not just a conversation, but there's something that you are learning. There is some resilience, some patience, holding on, following your dream. Madlela always says, a dream never dies. Yes, said it, he keeps saying it, and I'm so happy that you also bumped into him in Harare at some point, and we see shows like right now, Madlela comes home playing on DSTV, I think it's on ZTN, and we pray and wish you well in your future endeavors, that some of these shows, some of these things that you've always had as an idea, may they come to fruition. There's quite a lot, I think, that I have discussed with you over the phone, and you always have ideas.
Yeah, I always
have proposed
have
ideas also
man.
for us here to say like, I want to bring this show, and as much as some of these have not really worked, please don't stop. Keep going. One day, someone with the resources and a platform will give you that. If they don't, as you did in Harare, as much as people didn't pitch up, you will create your own platforms and keep going. Thank you so much. What else are you working on? What else do you do? I understand there is a beauty pageant that is coming up in Hillbrow. Please briefly tell us about that before we close the show.
So we are currently working on Miss Hillbrow.
Okay.
Right. So when I got there, apparently Bebe Lokpe all these past years, and this year will be the 4th edition, right?
And doesn't it really it fits with your
It does.
your book and your portfolio, because you have been working with these beauty pageants for quite some time.
It does. So then they then gave it to me to say, okay, this year organize it, right? And I was very excited.
Yeah.
I was very happy because that's my happy place, man. It's really my happy place. So then we are working on that. Currently, we are looking for models between 16 and 25.
All right.
You have to be based around, because it's Miss Hillbrow, so it makes sense to be around. But we are also welcoming abanye from outside. Yeah. And then the main event, Yakona, it's going to be on the 7th of December, 2024. Okay. And also, because it's supposed to be like a journey pageant, ne? So bekumele ngabe yaqala kudala senza ama auditions, you know,
boot camps and all that.
Yeah. But manje ngoba isikhathi sesisincane, it's going to be a one-day thing. So we are going straight to the finale. Manje masesiqedile ngama models, when I have all the finalists, I think somewhere in November, ngizoqala release again, then the public voting will be in place, and then send out ama posters for the event. And also nayo I want to urge people, man, to support this, because it's not just about, I think another thing that I've always said when it comes to modeling, because it's just naked girls walking around. It's a lot, man.
There's a lot of work there.
It's a lot. Like I said, this edition it has a theme. We are saying Miss Hillbrow, the voice, right? Because we want someone who is going to be like an inspirational figure,
who's going to be able to speak to other young girls, inspire them. Okay.
So that's where we are at, and man.
Give us the dates again.
So the main event, 7th of December. The venue ngingabi sure ngayo manje, because I've been weighing options, and also I want to give it, I want when people come inside, man, okay,
this is an event.
Now this is an event. Yeah. I know and stuff like that.
What are the entry requirements? Are you taking anyone, like you've mentioned the ages? What are the ages again? 18 to 25?
So it's 16 to 25.
16 to 25.
Yeah.
Someone is out there, they would love to be a model. They've always seen models looking like a particular way, and they feel like, I want to do this thing, but am I allowed to do this? Maybe I'm a bit bigger than what is always deemed as, this is a model looking like body. What are the entry requirements?
So I think in general, we are way past that thing. Models have to look a certain way.
Okay.
That works. It's an advantage, but we welcome everyone, man. Any race, any body type, size, any nationality, anyone is welcome to come in and enter.
Wow. Thank you so much, Zee. You've been a good sport. Please listen to Hillbrow Radio. You find it online. 3 to 6 has got the drive time show. What is the show called again?
It's the Vibe Zone.
The Vibe Zone.
Yeah. So weekdays, that is Monday to Friday, between 3 and 6 p.m.
Sisakhula thina ku-radio 2 bekuthiwa sesiphindele emakhaya. So ishow yakhe has that vibe whereby you are now driving back to work, but because it's a Jozi, abanye you will be only driving to work at the time. So get the vibe, connect with them, listen online. Thank you so much for coming. And Lausekaya, anytime there's something else new and interesting happening, please come through. What do you want to say to someone out there? You want to inspire them? You want to leave a word for encouragement? Here's your camera there.
That one.
Yes.
All right. So firstly, I want to say thank you to you and your team, right? Even though you ambushed me.
I know.
Because that was out of the blue. And you're like, tomorrow come for an interview. But thank you so much. You know, this feels like home. And when I walked in here, I said to the guys, this is really a nice space, man. And the hospitality.
Thank you.
You was asking, do you want coffee, tea? I was like, okay, this is really impressive.
Thank you.
But to, the people that are listening to us or watching us right now, I think very simple. Don't give up. Whatever that you want to do, go out there. No matter how hard it seems or what challenges that you come across, don't stop. Just keep it moving, and you would never know who you are inspiring out there. It can be one person. Last week, I don't know if you saw my grand entrance. I was a judge at Miss Benoni.
Yes.
So I got there looking all good, as I always do when I go to the events, right? And then the MC comes down. He's like, "Hi, are you Zee Arentz?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." Then he's like, "I've been following your journey, right?
Wow.
You made me get into radio. I'm trying to get into radio, and it's all because of you."
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay, this is
never
this
knew.
is good." I never knew, man. So I just keep going, man. Whatever that you want to do, it's possible. And also don't listen to too much, what people are saying.
Yeah.
Because people always have opinions, right? And most of the times, especially abantu bagithi le abangikhaya le ezim, they are always negative. Most of them are always negative. So don't listen to
a lot
people,
of that.
man. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You've got a dream. It will never die. Keep following it. Pursue it. It's your purpose. If you don't do it, you will not have peace. Thank you so much for joining us. Podcast yabantu sihamba le Iqembu Studios. Ngathi mina mawufuna ama-camera akushuta kuzokuvele nje leqhubu lelane laphayana bakhona. Weddings, birthday parties and divorce parties we also do. Thank you so much. Siyabonga.
Bye.
Danko.